And me say no make them take advantage of you. Nah, 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 yeah. Young girl wanna school, yeah. No follow nobody. Cause that man who you call you sexy could be twice your daddy. Man, no time rough like Greta. Plus your mama don't have it. Please me, I beg you, no make them come mess up your body. And you dirty man, waste man.
You're just a waste man. Oh yeah.
Hey, mommy, if you listen to your daughter, won't you tell her she not happy? You see the signs and turn a blind eye. Me, I beg you to stop it. Cause that man will you ever come check you when you listen to the story. You left your young girl all alone. Not take your daughter, sell her to no dirty man. You dirty man. Leave the people beneath them alone.
Leave them,
dirty man. You know it's wrong. So leave the people beneath them alone. It's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace, man.
Ooh, you're just a waste man. A waste man. Uno fi talk up. If you no know them thing you're gone.
No matter wait till it's too late. Alright, now if it's sound the alarm.
Uno fi talk up. If you no know them thing you're gone.
And if you know and not say a thing,
you
so
upside
than the dirty man. You dirty man.
Leave the people beneath them alone.
Me a beg you no leave them.
Dirty man.
You dirty man.
You know it wrong.
You know it's wrong.
Leave the people beneath them alone. It's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace, man.
Ooh, you're just a waste man. A waste man. It's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace, man.
Ooh, you're just a waste.
You're just a
man.
waste man. Yeah.
Stop it, Daddy. Daddy, stop it now. I'm going to tell on you now. Oh, Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. Ooh, Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. Every day I wonder why my daddy had to be the one to take away my innocence. Oh, sometimes I wanna die. It feels like no one cares for me, and it's evident that something must be wrong with me. I'm not as happy as I seem to be. The long showers I take don't wash away the memories. Why do I have to face these tragedies? We go through struggles in life, I'm aware, but to have my daddy touching me, that's just not fair. Stop him from destroying my future. Believe me, he's behaving like a creature. Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. Ooh, Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. To all your mothers out there, give a listening ear. Pay attention even if the man a pastor. You have to make sure before you trust him with your daughter. Plus him will even try to take your son as brother. Watch it make we duck him with some dirty water. You can't hide no more now, you have to meet your karma. If you know say it's a go on and turn a blind eye, then your judgment a go pile up out a mile high. Get suicidal if you think it's a go save you, because me sure say you're not gonna get fishy the savior. Me just can't find a name for your behavior. It's a lucky thing we got a nosy neighbor. Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. Ooh, Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. When you feel like giving up, just shake it off and live it up. The most I will deliver you. Can't jump the rope if you not try. So wipe that tears there from your eye. Get the wings of confidence to make you fly. Tribulations are just to make you stronger. Love yourself and it will help you forget over. Any place where hurt a little youth will never prosper. I'm passing on the message from the master. Every day I wonder why my daddy had to be the one to take away my innocence. Oh, sometimes I wanna die. It feels like no one cares for me, and it's evident that something must be wrong with me. I'm not as happy as I seem to be. The long showers I take don't wash away the memories. Why do I have to face these tragedies? We go through struggles in life. I'm aware what to have my daddy touching me. That's just not fair. Stop him from destroying my future. Believe me, he's behaving.
Have you heard about Casa Joe Funeral Sales and Services, located in the Garden Parish of St. Anne in the beautiful town of Montego? In case you don't know, Casa Joe offers services at affordable rate. Casa Joe specializes in embalming, casket, chariot, tent, funeral program, wreath, headstone, button, bookmarkers, and gospel band, and many more. Feel free to contact Casa Joe today at 876-596-8212 or 876-784-9081. Or you could send them an email at casajoefuneralservices@gmail.com. For a special discount, tell them that you were sent there by Chat with the Jacksons. Call now.
If you are looking for inspiration, I have got the book for you. A Journey Not Yet Complete by Corey Cunningham Brooks. Get your copy today. You can get your copy at Amazon.com or you can call 876-802-0133. 876-802-0133. Get your copy now.
Send a shout out to the Jacksons family. And I'm telling you, better days coming. So just hold on. Yeah, man. Better days coming, no need for worry. Life too short, you need for glory. Jesus Christ, me give the glory for my testimony. Better days coming, no need for worry. Life too short, you need for glory. Jesus Christ, me give the glory. I'm a testimony. Tune into the Jackson every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. US time.
Oh, you feel do that to a child, you pedophile.
I me say no make them take advantage of you. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, young girl wanna school ya. I'm not following nobody. Cause that man where I call you sexy could be twice your daddy. Your time rough like Greta. Plus your mama don't want me. I beg you, no make them come mess up your body. And you dirty man, leave the people picking them alone.
Pedophilia is a horrendous crime that unfortunately our children are facing in our communities, our country, and the world at large.
Yes, you might not see it, but it's happening. So for the real dirty man them, wanna stop it.
If you see something, you need to speak up.
And if you're doing it, you need to stop.
Leave the people picking them alone.
Stop it, Daddy. Daddy, stop it now. I'm going to tell on you now. Oh, Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. Ooh, Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. Every day I wonder why my daddy had to be the one to take away my innocence. Oh, sometimes I wanna die. It feels like no one cares for me, and it's evident that something must be wrong with me. I'm not as happy as I seem to be. The long showers I take don't wash away the memories. Why do I have to face these tragedies? We go through struggles in life, I'm aware, but to have my daddy touching me, that's just not fair. Stop him from destroying my future. Believe me, he's behaving like a creature. Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. I don't know why every time we come on, it just seemed like something has to go wrong, but the devil is tonight. Indicate by typing in if you're hearing me clearly. Let us know, let us know.
Can you hear us now?
Okay.
Hearing.
Corey's Journey said yes. She said hearing.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. And thank you again for joining Chat with the Jacksons. We truly, truly appreciate you all, and we appreciate your patience as well. When it comes to technology, you never know what can happen. But nevertheless, we are back up and running. And again, tonight's topic will be, my parents knew I was molested and did nothing. Give. As you can tell by the intro of the songs that were being played, we're going to be talking about molestation forms, whether it be parent-child, whether it be child and a relative being an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, or whether it be a pastor, a counselor. In all aspects, we're going to touch on it tonight. So we want you to interact with us. We don't want to be the ones only to be this topic, because we know that this is a topic that's somewhat shunned based on fear of the unknown, based on fear of say something, what is going to be the consequence. So we're just going to jump right in. Annie?
Yes, and before you jumped in, one and all, thanks for being here with us. Thanks for your patience, and we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. As we said, we are getting up for just music, but we want to get all the equipment in first. And if we get kicked off, then YouTube won't kick us off. So we beg of you to subscribe our YouTube channel. And for the topic for tonight, just after we came up with this topic, and I started quite a few people who called me about this topic, and every day from I came up with this topic, I'm upset, and I'm still upset even up to today. I think I was talking to our engineer. I was talking to our engineer about the topic, and I was saying to him that I'm not sure if I was molested while growing up. But he said I don't think so, based on how we're talking, because I picked up things when I was about 18, but I've grown up with this person from a very tender age. So this is one topic that is real touchy to me. I can't say the person have done me anything. Let's get that out there. But when I was 18, then that's when I started to pick up on some stuff. Tonight, to react with us, this is the topic that we want to hear from you. And just a little guideline before we get started. That we don't want you to get personal tonight by calling anyone name or thinking that someone is talking about you. If you want to call us, and you don't have to give your name. You don't have to give your name when you call. But I don't know why my wife is taking the camera off me.
Now I'm trying to fix it.
But you gotta look in there because I'm not on the screen. Okay, good. Right. If you call in or if you type, just make it be about yourself. You don't have to use your name, and you don't have to even go into details. Just in case you just want to say something on the topic, let's be respectful tonight, and say that something happened to me. I don't want you to jump at me and say, well, I was careless or whatever. Just use sympathy tonight, because this is a topic that touched me. And before we get started, because a few people may miss the intro, so we want to go back to this song and then we get right into it.
Me say no make them take advantage of you. Nah, 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 yeah. Young girl wanna school, yeah. No follow nobody, 'cause that man where you call you sexy could be twice your daddy. My no time rough like greater, plus your mama don't have it. Please me, I beg you, no make them come mess up your body. And you dirty man, you dirty man. Leave the people beneath them alone. You dirty man, you know it's wrong. So leave the people beneath them alone. It's a disgrace, man. Ooh, you're just a waste man. A waste man.
Just a waste man, oh yeah.
Hey, mommy, if you listen to your daughter, won't you tell her she not happy? You see the signs and turn a blind eye. Me, I beg you to stop it. 'Cause that man where you have a come check you when you left him to the Atari. You left your young girl all alone. Not take your daughter, sell her to no dirty man. You dirty man. Leave the people beneath them alone.
Leave them.
Dirty man, you know it's wrong. So leave the people beneath them alone. you no know them thing ya gone.
No matter wait till it's too late. Alright, now if it's sound the alarm.
Who no fit talk up. If you no know them thing ya gone.
And if you know and not say a thing, you upside down the dirty man. You dirty man.
Leave the people beneath them alone.
Me a beg you no leave them, leave them.
Dirty man.
You dirty man.
You know it wrong.
You know it wrong.
Leave the people beneath them alone. It's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace, man.
You're just a waste man. A waste man. It's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace, man.
Ooh, you're just a waste.
You're just a
waste
waste man, yeah.
You dirty man, you know it's wrong.
Don't say.
Leave the people. Sister Barbara, you're gonna help me sing. Sister Barbara is peeping in from Jamaica, and it's her birthday, and
Happy birthday.
want to say happy birthday to Sister Barbara, and enjoy yourself and be safe. Started, honey. We want to thank Blazing Gospel Radio, Blazing Gospel Radio.ml. They bring us live every Tuesday. We want to thank also The Journey from out of Brownstone, Sister Corey B. We encourage you to join her. Sister Corey B will be on from 10 to midnight. Man, she have it rocking every Tuesday night from 10 to midnight. We encourage you to join Blazing Gospel Radio, and Thursday from 8 to 10 with the best music in town. Sunday again from 8 to 10, Blazing Gospel Radio.ml and Sister Corey B. And we continue to thank our engineer for working with us tirelessly. Day in, day out, almost 7 days of the week, teaching me the job. You know, he's getting real tough now. A lot of things when, you know, you should say whatever. He just tell me, you shouldn't know that. But anyway, that's for another show. Gone. So we want to get right into the show for tonight. So the floor is yours. We also we have some comments from some of the audience that so take the floor and feel free to join into this discussion.
Okay, so again, just to recap, the topic is my parents knew I was dead and did nothing about it. Should I forgive? So, this is a very heavy topic, and want anyone to be transparent. If you choose to be transparent, then so be it. But nevertheless, we are not asking you to be transparent. Now, abuse or molestation takes on various forms. And as the topic stated, child were molested and you told your parent, whether it be the mom or the dad, coming from a female perspective, that the child came to the mother. And as a mother, I turned a blind eye. Now, that child is left in, actually, that child is in no position, because the person that this child thinks that should have been her protector is not believing, right? Or as more or less like tuning, so to speak, could be for various reasons. Maybe she herself was molested and she didn't have an outlet to go to say, well, this happened to me. But nevertheless, that child came to the parent and said, my dad molested me, or my stepdad molested me, or my adopted father molested me, or an uncle molested me, a cousin molested me, or a pastor molested me. Right? Firstly, as a parent, how do you, first of all, I'm positive you're going to be in shock, right? But instead of being shocked, you don't take your child seriously. You more or less have a closed mind, or you're closed off from the fact that this has happened to a child.
So then, just listening to this song and listen to what you said from Roman Virgo. That's Roman Virgo's daughter?
No.
Oh no.
No. His daughter's a.
That's well done. Well done. Well done by that young lady. Mm-hmm. So I guess when she said dirty man, it means a dirty human being then. Because if there is a mother and the mother being told by the child that the stepdad or my dad is molesting me, and she did nothing about it, I would call her a dirty woman too.
Right, rightfully so. And bear in mind that molestation is not just based on the male figure, right? You could have a boy child that was molested by a woman as well.
Whether that's happening all the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But in our society, it's more or less recognized where the girl is more the one that was molested versus the boy, which I don't know why that is, but molestation is molestation, regardless if it's a male or a female.
Maybe the girl is the one that talks. Boys maybe don't want to talk about that. So maybe a girl would come out and say what to her, but maybe a boy would say, you know what, them are going to laugh after me, or them are going to mock me and whatever, so you know what, me going to hold this one, me not going to talk about it.
Well, before we even get further into it, we need to teach our children, male and female, from very young, the differences between, or the different types of touches, actually. Don't just say, oh, you know, he's 2 years old, 3 years old, therefore, you know, you have to inbred this in a child from young, right? So they have a sense of what is appropriate and what's not appropriate, because they do know, they could tell.
Yes, because I have 2 daughters, and from very tender age, I told them, listen, if it's even your daddy touch them in a way that they're not comfortable, tell mommy. If it's even me, so that I'm anybody to touch them anyway to come and make a complaint. You know, and we as parents have to step up to the plate, and just because of a man or a woman, and not to believe our kids, or tend to believe the kids are lying.
Right. That's unfortunately, that happens so many times, because sometimes you have some that will put their significant other before their child, right? And if that child comes to you with something such as this, say, well, it didn't happen. You need to do your investigation. I don't care who it is, as a matter of fact. As a mother, you need to do your investigation and prosecute to the full extent of the law, right? Because I cannot fathom how a person would want to molest a child.
Well, you said you would have to do your investigation. If my child come to me and say that you molest them, then the police would have to do the investigation, you know. I'm not going to investigate nothing. I want the police investigation. If you're innocent, then so be it. But from my child tell me that you molest her or him, me consider you as a dirty man, or a dirty woman. Dirty girl sound real. Dirty girl sound good. Can Jamaica dirty girl is mackerel, you know?
No, we're not going to that. We're not in the humorous aspect tonight. This is a serious topic, and we're going to treat it as such. Yes, that's, considered whatever it's considered, but nevertheless.
No, but I'm serious. I'm serious because just thinking about it, that you protect the child.
Right.
And you're the one molesting the child. There are certain things, your virginity and whatever you want to keep with you until you get married. And that your family member, took your virginity or forced themselves onto you and so forth. That's a scar.
Right. And not only that, part that comes with it too is that particular individual also tend to want to bribe that child. Don't tell your mother, I'm going to give you amount of money for you not to tell your mother, or I'm going to buy you this, don't tell your mother. And then, or your father for that matter. And then the thing is, if you have a child that was, let's say, relatively a quiet child, right? All of a sudden now you start seeing this child acting out. This child is acting out at home, at school, and even because some may act out inappropriate ways and some may be withdrawn. And you as a parent, as a mother, I am using mother because, I'm looking at it from the female perspective, don't see those signs or don't pick up on those signs to say, wait a minute, this is not the norm for my child. Why is my child acting out like this? Why is my child grades slipping? There are see that's not the norm that's going on with the child for you to now say,
But you know that Cordell says something along the line that you are talking about, and it's real true. Some mothers really know what's going on, but because the male is the breadwinner, and if she talk, then she might have to leave the house also. She just allow her daughter or her son to just continue to just being used and being molested just because money, the mother don't care about the child, but care about coming in.
So you're going to scar your child for life based on the fact that, okay, he's the breadwinner, so I'm just going to sit back and let this happen to my child. There are so many adults, from the child for a quick second, there are so many adults today that are in therapy because of this very same thing. You hear all their boys were being molested by priests, and it's not just boys, girls too are molested by pastors or whatever. But there's no amount of money to compensate for this particular violation, because this is violation to the highest level, right? There's no amount of therapy that can make that person whole, quote unquote, whole again, right? Yes, there are some people that have gone through therapy that have found it in their heart to forgive. And we're going to touch on that part because that's the main piece of it too. The molestation, yes, is the focus, but the forgiving part, that's the part where I think we're going to have a lot of disagreements with our viewers, as well as maybe we may differ with that too. We don't know. We'll get to that point.
We'll see how we get there.
But nevertheless, we're going to... but yes, as I was saying, you have some adults that will readily forgive and move on with their life and have very productive lives, have lived very productive lives, where there are others that just couldn't get past it. And it's like everything about their life has been, whatever the word is at this point. It's just been one roller coaster after another. It's like they can't catch a break with anything. Everything about their life has been a downhill battle.
It's no, while you were talking, I was thinking, and I saw Sister Izzy Thomas came on, and I was thinking while I saw her name program today, and she was interviewing. Well, the person spoke about it, so she was interviewing this person, and this person says that his daughter was molested by, well, I'm not sure if the uncle was his brother or on the other side, but his own daughter was molested by her uncle. He's still upset, but you know what he do? He said for him to do it, he make a song, but it's still bothering him. So when we reach to the forgiveness part, because while he was talking, I was just thinking that he's a strong man, and he, instead of him doing what, because he said he's from the street, and he give up all of that to come to Christ, and then for an uncle to rape my daughter, then he was looking back at the street, but then he said, man, I'm coming from the street. I don't want to go back to the street.
A lot of viewers or people in general will look at this topic and say, well, should I forgive? Shouldn't I forgive? Because of the fact that my knew that I was being molested and didn't know anything about it. Now, there would be people that would say, well, as a Christian, I should forgive and let it go. Or if you're not a Christian, a person that's a Christian may come to you and say, well, just forgive and let it go. But this is something that's not as simple as it seems, right? Because this was a very traumatic experience. Maybe it happened one day. It was an ongoing thing, right? And you're so scarred by this that people that were never in your situation or never understand your situation now coming to you and say, well, just forgive and move on. It's not as simple as just forgive and move on, right? There are situations or instances this has caused the individual that was molested to try to commit suicide or have succeeded by committing suicide, right? And individuals who have, like I said, their lives have been, it has spiraled down into everything that's negative, that out of jail, they're in and out of, it's just all types of negative things that has transpired throughout their lives. So it's not as simple as forgive, whether it be a parent, whether it be a teacher, whether it be an uncle, whoever the abuser was, it's not just cut and dry as, okay, forgive and move on. From a humanistic point, I'm speaking for myself, I just think that it would be extremely hard for me to. But on the other hand, rather, you may say to yourself, well, God would want me to forgive this person. It's very hard. It's a very hard pill to swallow in terms of forgiving somebody that's supposed to protect me, right? First and foremost, I'm looked at as a protector, right? The bond that a mother and a child have or should have, it's one that is very different from the bond with a father. In hindsight, I would say that, the mother should have been the one to be there to protect, regardless if the child comes to you and say, XYZ touched me or did so-and-so to me. You should not take it lightly. You should do your research and get to the very bottom of it. Because a child is not going to come out of that and say something like that.
Okay, that's a mouthful. That's a mouthful there. But I'm glad you're looking at it from a humanistic standpoint. The real question is what. Well, before I even go there, I think the church needs to do more on topics. But then again, I was talking to an individual over the weekend, and the individual was real concerned about this topic because they were molested by their pastor. And this happened years ago, and I'm still upset about it when I heard about it over there. So if your own pastor molests you, and then we expect the pastor to come up with some classes or some little course and so forth that you take along to come out about these things, how to deal with it, get some sisters and some brother to be some support group and so forth. But if you've been molested in the church, then where can I turn to? Mama don't believe me. My daddy don't believe me.
Because, of course, it's the church.
And I turn to the church now for help. But the church is doing the same thing that I'm running away from because of.
Well, the thing is, I think that we need to teach our children to, if anything traumatic was supposed to happen, any type of inappropriate touch, right? Confide in someone. If you feel that your parent is not listening to you, tell your teacher, right? And the pastor, you are in an environment where you're supposed to be more protected, but you're not, because that person that's supposed to be the one that teaching you the ways of the Lord and all of that is the one that's doing what or being contrary to what he's teaching or she's teaching. So, we have to teach children from very young to be able to speak up about whatever it is that has happened to them, that they know it's not the norm. You do know it's not the norm.
Okay, well, let's run it down now. So you run to mama don't believe you. You run to daddy don't believe you. You run to the pastor
Go to an auntie. Go to a police officer. Somebody.
Well, that's what Mr. Carter said. The police officer doing the same thing. So, the police officer is doing the same thing. So who can I run to? And, I know of a case, right? I know of a case that the child didn't want to come home from school because the child is telling the mother that this is going, and she don't believe the child. So the child starts to stay out, and when she come home, that's the time the child would come home. And it takes her years after the child just didn't care what I want to do. I'm going home for him to molest me. I'm just going to go home and just get it over with and done.
Well, that goes to show that you don't take your child's interest at heart at any time, if that's your child is doing something out of the norm. That should be a red flag to say, well, okay, why isn't it that my child wants to come home at the time that he or she is supposed to, and try to find out what's going on.
I guess you have to find somebody else to go to, because I know you keep saying that, tell the teacher. But Bella Blair said some teachers doing the same thing.
That's true. We have individuals from various professions or whatever that are doing the same thing. But at some point, there's somebody that you could confide in that will have your back, so to speak, and be able to report it to the authorities and great action, right? And we need to get to the point where, okay, we're going to talk about, should I forgive that person, that parent, that mother, that teacher, that pastor? How do I forgive such a person that violated me in such a way?
Okay. How would I forgive that person?
Or would you forgive that person?
The human side of me would say no. But before we get to forgiveness, we want people to think. If I come to you and say that my pastor molests me, and the only thing you can tell me is that, well, him and move on. I might be upset with you too,
True.
I think
true. I would be in agreement with that statement that you just made.
I mean, we do believe that you have to forgive. We do know that Jesus said to forgive. We do know that to make it in, we have to forgive. But we have to work around it. We have to realize that this person is scarred. And forgiveness is not just the right there that come off of the bat. You have to get the person to a point where you
they
can talk
acknowledge what they did.
Right. But you talk about acknowledge what they did. I was listening to something today, and the father, even though the father was convicted, he's still blaming the daughter. It's like the daughter, the daughter is the one who come up with a lot of these ideas. The daughter, and she's underage.
Well, he's a pedophile. It's simple. Because if he's going to be blaming the child, he's clearly a pedophile. And you do have parents, mothers, fathers, uncles, whoever the relatives are, that are pedophiles. They seek out children just for their gratification.
Right. Bella, it's a process. I will not forgive him or her yet. I want to know more about the yet, Bella Blair. So she will not forgive him yet.
I would want that person to acknowledge to me, what they did to me, and clearly at some point, apologize to me, because I think forgiveness in that aspect would be if that person would be able to acknowledge what they did, right? But I think forgiveness would be a little bit harder if, acknowledge what you did. Now, my anger and possibly, and I'm going to be transparent because I'm human, possibly hatred would be building up inside me for this, right? Yeah. I mean, people do go through those type of emotions, and like I said, this is a violation like nothing else. So the different types of emotions that I would be going through, for me, would be justified. Nobody could tell me, oh, well, just forgive and move. No, okay. You weren't in that situation. You didn't experience that. So how could you just tell me forgive and move on?
Okay. Donna Brown situation where a child was molested by her uncle. Her mother thought that her brother was just being a loving uncle. The 12-year-old girl for her uncle.
Wow.
She told me that her mother would not listen to her. Mother need to bond with their children so they won't be afraid to tell them things, good or bad. The child know that we have their back, so speak up.
So to speak.
Right, so to speak. So speak up.
Well, it seems to that too. What if the child gets pregnant? Then what? Right? How do you as a mother now say, how could you now say that this, how could you turn a blind eye now that there's another part to the puzzle, right? First of all, she was molested. She came to you, then now she's pregnant. What are you going to do now? And this child is an underage child. This is a 12-year-old, for crying out loud.
Police did get involved.
Well, I tell you, boy.
But I don't understand. I mean, I don't understand. I still don't understand it anyway, because what do you mean it's a loving uncle? And you always hug whatever, and my daughter, I don't care who you are. I don't want to see brother and sister hugging up too much.
Well, you see, that's the thing too. Okay, so, I shouldn't even say. Well, I'm gonna just say this. I see from a Caribbean background, right? Not the norm, so to speak, and don't bash me, all, but it's not the norm, so to speak, back then. I don't know if it has changed, but a lot of children weren't getting any type of affection, from their parents to say, well, okay, hug you, and those type of affections rather, for whatever reason. I'm not saying it happened in every household, but I know I've seen it. So as an adult, most adults, when you grow up, you find it very hard to be the type of person to be hugging, giving a hug, or saying, I love you, whatever the case may be. I mean, society changed a lot, but a lot of people's ways may not have changed. I say all of that to say this. we make kids like Donna Brown said, it was seen as a loving uncle. I mean, there has to be some part of it where you look at it.
This uncle
This
too
too,
loving.
yes, right, yeah, and say something, right? Because after all, this is your child, right? So you as the parent again need to be the protector. I don't care if it's an uncle or auntie or whoever the case may be. My first priority is to my child, right? And if you're gonna cross, that boundary, then we clearly gonna have some problems.
Okay, I want Andrea White. She's when you're a child of God, you have to forgive some of the things and let God take care of it. Okay. And while I said before, I forgive, but is it a process? Can we just jump into it and say, because honestly, most of us will be hypocrites in a
Very
general
much so.
sense. Because most of us forgive and go to church, I really don't forgive that person.
Unless you're in the situation.
Yes,
right?
you'd have to be in it, because there are many times things happen and I would say that, man, even with you, as soon as you get over that, and when the thing burns, I make the porridge and I say, whoa, that's how this burn hot? So there are times that we are not in this stuff ourselves, so we can just talk. Talk is cheap. But we know that we have to forgive. But I'm asking now, Andrea, you have your child, and your husband or your boyfriend molest that child, and you come home to tell you, would you just say, I'll leave the rest to God? No, let me tell you something. I have 2 daughters. I may just pray, say, nobody no blow upon them then weird, because Christians would have to lay aside a little. No, I'm serious. If my
Listen. I don't even wanna.
No, I'm serious.
And I'm being as real can be also, because we have to understand this is such a violation that will not be rectified. You can't undo it. This is something that's not going to be you can't go back and undo, right? And we're talking about now you're going to have to put your child in therapy, right? And as I stated before, you have some children that will be suicidal, right? They may attempt it 1, 2, 3, 4 times until they finally succeed, right? They may act out in so many different ways. Serial killers. There are so many things that they can become, which is detrimental. So just to say, okay, this happened to my child,
leave it to God.
Leave it to God. And go on as if nothing happened. I'm still going to maintain a relationship with this individual.
No, hold on. But the question now, how would that relationship be? A matter of fact.
But if that parent has tuned out that child, right? They're not hearing what the child is saying. They're going to continue being in that relationship with that child, because you know what? They put that person above their child.
So,
right?
So can you divorce your parents? Because I would want to divorce that mother or father. You know?
There are instances where you have kids that divorce their parents. I know it happens in this country. I don't know about for other countries.
Yeah, well, you see what, and that's exactly what you're saying. Bella Blair said when things like this happen, I keep beer. I'm sorry, Bella Blair. I keep messing up. What do I keep saying? Blair? Bella Blair.
Bella Blair is an entertainer.
Okay, Bella Blair. She said when things like this happen, and bitterness start to build up. She said hunger, hatred, and suicide.
Of course. Of course.
So this is not something you could just tell yourself, you know what, forget about it and move on. When things like this happen, you know, honestly, when things like this happen, we need to go back to this little girl and take a...
And me say no make them take advantage of you. Nah, 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 yeah. Young girl going to school, yeah. No follow nobody. Cause that man who you call you sexy could be twice your daddy. Man, no time rough like greater. Plus your mama don't have it. Please me, I beg you, no make them come mess up your body. And you dirty man, leave the people beating them alone. You dirty man, you know it's wrong. So leave the people beating them alone. It's a disgrace, man. Ooh, you're just a waste man. A waste man.
Just a waste man, oh yeah.
Hey, mommy, if you listen to your daughter, won't you tell her she not happy? You see the signs and turn a blind eye. Me, I beg you to stop it. Cause that man where you ever come check you when you listen to the story. You left your young girl all alone. Not take your daughter, sell her to no dirty man. You dirty man. Leave the people beneath them alone.
Leave them.
Dirty man, you know it's wrong. So leave the people beneath them alone. It's a disgrace,
It's a disgrace, man.
Ooh, you're just a waste man. A waste man. Uno fi talk up. If you know them thing you want.
No matter wait till it's too late. Alright, now if it's sound the alarm.
Uno fi talk up. If you know them thing you want.
And if you know and not say a thing, you answer than the dirty man. You dirty man.
Leave the people beneath them alone.
Me a beg you no leave them.
Dirty man.
You dirty man.
You know it's wrong.
This song is saying that we need to talk up, right? When these things happen, talk up. But if we are talking up and our parents not believe in us, what should we do? You know, talk up these things. Well, I guess maybe, as you said, find somebody. If mama now believe you, go to papa. If papa now believe you, go to the pastor. If a pastor want the dirty man, you go to the police. If dirty man, you go to the higher ranks in the
There has
police.
to be somebody that would listen.
Would listen to you.
You know, and again, like you said, it can be a situation that father, stepfather, boyfriend is the only one that is the breadwinner for the family, right? So she may be reluctant to want to leave, but you have to take your feelings and emotions and all of that into consideration versus being with someone that is harming your child.
Of course. It's not about more. Now, it's more than that. You need a relationship with your child. And I know there are many, many kids now that don't even want to see their parents because their action was like dirty man. Right? And I know of cases that people have to leave home early because mama just depend on the money from the man. So mama said, well, listen, me can't believe you over the man. And sometimes she believes nothing about it. She don't want to do nothing about it. Not that she can't believe. But Bella Blair, Cody and Thomas said, if you forgive the person, they probably will do the same thing again.
Yeah, because you have some, like I said before, you have some people that are pedophiles. So they get a rise out of doing this to children, right?
So that's why person behind bar. Do you think that they should have? Because even in Jamaica, I don't think, and don't quote me on it, but I don't think they have a sex offender register.
Oh, I'm not sure about Jamaica, but I know.
Because I know that was fighting for it the other day. This singer guy.
Anyone that lives in Jamaica that know if there's a registry, let us know.
Yeah, because you need to know who live beside you too.
Because here you could just Google sex offender near me, and you will see how many pops up, if there is any for that matter. But it's a 1, 2, 3 sex offender near me, and you will see.
Mr. Carter said, while we waiting, Mr. Carter says that, okay, yes, we can forgive, but how do we deal with flashbacks?
That's, wow. Yeah, because, if that person is still in the area, live, or it's hard. It's hard not to see that person and not have flashbacks. It's hard.
Mm-hmm. Right, but so that is why counseling is very important. As soon as you find out that these things are happening, you have to invest in your child. To see a good counselor immediately.
Immediately, yes.
But then my question keep flashing back. This is my flashback. What would I do with the man or the woman? Would I still stay with that person? You molest my child. Should I forgive you and stay with you? I want to hear from
the unfortunate part about that is that some people do stay with the abuser.
What would you do? What would you do?
Jesus. I can't say on the air, what would I do? Let me see. I'm 16. Whoa. Take your pick.
Pick your choice. Okay. Jam Spice says that a child is oftentimes molested by family members and close friends because of the close relationship. The child will be fearful or intimidated telling someone about it. Why would they be fearful?
They would be fearful and intimidated because oftentimes they are bribed. I will, here is $20. Don't tell mommy and dad. I'm going to buy you. Oh, so you want an Xbox? I'm going to buy it for you. So you want a new phone? I'm going to buy it for you. So that comes with bribing, your child to keep quiet, right? So it's like you're rewarding that child for your inappropriate. I'm trying not to use certain words.
Right, but how old is this child? Because this child because a part of my study was this person was saying that it's two types of forgiveness. It depends on you. Then you have to forgive the person, but you also have to forgive yourself. Because there are many things that maybe you could have done that you didn't do. You could have said what you didn't say. And you could stop it.
Well, I guess too, you yourself is still trying to deal with it, or still trying to wrap your brain around, did this really happen to my child? because it's a system. You may be experiencing all types of emotions. You may have a mental breakdown too.
But you're telling me that I don't know how shocked I would be because I'm paying attention. When I used to daughters around, male or female, I pay close attention, especially to the girls.
And I think for
And
mothers,
if I even go to church and I see a church brother hug them 2-3 times, I say something to them.
yeah, I think mothers being nurturers to your senses are more keen to certain things. Once you have a child, your sense are heightened. So you tend to, and again, that goes back to being a nurturer and being a protector. Certain things that you cannot overlook, right? But you do have mothers that overlook so many things, right? But you have to pay close attention, close attention to the sleepovers, right? I know when our youngest was much younger and she wanted to go to sleep, it wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. She would be so mad with us or whatever. But as a mother, you think about all the different scenarios. Not to say that the person's home that she wanted to go to, anything would happen, but you just have that sixth sense that what if, right? And again, it goes back to teaching children, boys and girls, from very young, what's deemed appropriate and what's deemed inappropriate. So that way, when they are not in your presence, they will that this is what mommy was talking about, this is what daddy was talking about.
Right. Sister Yannick Johnson from Blazing Gospel Radio says she agree with me 100%. She don't joke with her babies. Don't joke with her babies. And I agree. Mr. Carter.
Wait, before you get to Mr. Carter, as we asked before if there was a registry in Jamaica, Miss Marcia Smith, she gave good information. There is a sex offender registry, and there's an address as well as a telephone number listed, and that is Sex Offender Registry, Lockett Avenue, 12 to 14 Lockett Avenue, Kingston 4, and the telephone number is 876-948-6187.
Is this a new register? Because I know there was a big debate even recently about it in Jamaica. Is this new, Marcia?
Whether it's new or not, at least there's something that, whether you're a parent, a teacher, a law enforcement officer, nurse, whatever profession you are, or even if you don't have a profession, this is some valuable information to have, right? So you could pass it on, or if you even know of a situation where a child is being molested, then you yourself could contact, could call this telephone number and get some type of information.
Mr. Carter says, if this happened to my child, the guy or whoever it is would not live long enough to see any of his grandkids. With that side, there shall be no forgiveness. Because you know what's gonna happen to him. But Jam Spice said forgiveness is the first step to healing. Do you agree?
forgiveness is the first step. No, I think acknowledging first and foremost what happened, because a lot of young people, children, male or female, maybe don't even have the concept of what really happened to them, right? So I think forgiveness will come much later on, because after this child has to be seen by a medical professional for God knows how long, right? An extended period of time. Then you're going to have to do the logical part of it, the emotional part of it, you know. There's so much, because that child may, like I said before, may lash out in so many different ways that they become uncontrollable. You know, they may become a child that's, oh my God, I don't even know. It's just many components to this that, you know, that child may even want to be one that want to hurt you yourself. So I think there's so much that has to be dealt with before you get to the forgiveness part.
Right.
However, if you choose to forgive, because not everybody's going to forgive, choose to forgive, then I would think that I would want that person in my presence to first acknowledge what you did.
No, if you choose to forgive, I know you have to forgive. You have to forgive. I mean, maybe when, but you know, even though we say that the earlier you can forgive, you know, is the better for you. But that's on you. Only you could know when you're at that place.
Well, yeah, I agree with you on that.
Only you could know when you're at that place.
I don't think that the earlier you can forgive would be better.
No, because you could die. You could die tomorrow. So
you're saying that if a parent, right, molested your son or your daughter, in a week's time you're going to forgive that person, or the following day you're going to forgive that person of fear of, say, I may die tonight or whatever.
Because you have to take that in consideration also, because God forgive us, and how many times in a day, and look what we have done to God. But you're gonna say to me that we are like different, the humanistic side of us, would hold on to stuff. But that's why we have connection with God, because there are some things that people forgive other people for, and then you might say, but I never forgive him for that. But when you come to the realization I've done for you, then you're gonna forgive. But that leaves to you. I can't come and say, forgive to them. Listen, you draw this out too long, because you can make things. Sometimes some people come and talk to you, make it reverse, you know. Yeah. Because you're going to come to me and tell me, say, I draw it out too long. You don't know the scar that this person put on me. You understand? So you can't tell me, say, I draw it. Maybe I draw it out too long, for sure, but you have to find a way of how to get... Or maybe
I'm drawing it out too long, because if I did, if I...
You might have to
I don't know what I would do in that moment.
You might have to go sing a song. What is this person name? You might have to go sing a song. You might have to go sing a song. I was trying to find a name. Read that one for me.
Okay. Dory Deroa. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Don't say Tulak.
I'm sorry. Tulak.
Yeah.
Stated, this is a very serious situation, but my advice is, if this happens, Christian, the best thing to do is to seek God's divine intervention. Yes, we do have to seek God's divine intervention, because from the humanistic point of view, the answers in that moment, you know, in that moment, I think most of us would have anger. Well, yes, anger would be at the very top. Anger and so many other things. You may even want to kill that person. you know?
Mr. Carter asked a very, very good question. And Mr. Carter, based upon what you are saying, I don't know if it's you, I guess it's you or me, would you send your grandchildren to spend holiday with that same person in the same place? But you forgive. If you forgive.
No way. No way.
You're going to say that I forgive you, but I'm not sending my child there again?
No, never going back there.
You didn't forgive then.
Never going back there.
It's a hard one.
I know that my child wouldn't be going back there. No.
It's a hard one.
And Doreen said, when is early?
And early,
when is early?
Yeah, early. Again, early, as we said, we have to know, God give us a minute, right? We don't know what's going to happen to us the next minute. So we have to be very careful how we deal with this minute. Maybe another minute might be too late. I encourage people and I advise them that, listen, try and get to a point where you can start to turn the ship around. You know, only that person will know when early is early and when it's early.
Especially if it's a parent. If it's a parent, that's a hard one, Jake. That's a very hard one. Because I cannot sit back knowing that as a mother, my child's father or a relative molested my child. And first of all, you know, I'm dealing with the trauma of what happened to my child, right? And I'm not even, I'm thinking about the person that did it, yes. Thinking about the person, because if I really think about the person, what I'm really thinking.
it look like you're going to start to sing a song. I'm thinking about the person, but I'm not thinking about the person. Because if I think about the person, but I'm thinking about the person.
Because what I'm really thinking, I may not make it into heaven. And I'm just being real, you know. I'm not sugarcoating it or anything. Us, as Christians, we feel that we're not supposed to feel certain things. We're not supposed to anything traumatic that we're just supposed to pray about it and let it go. That may work for some people, but that may not work for other people, right? And yes, eventually you have to forgive. Moment that thing is so fresh, whatever it is so fresh that I know I would find it very hard in that moment.
Mr. Marcia says that maybe the person don't change, so sending back her grandchild or her child around that person very hard.
Yeah, it would be very hard because
matter of fact, she said she would not send back. She would not send back.
I'm with you on that.
She would not send back the person.
Period.
The person back around here. And Kayla, the human side of me would say no, because that's a hard thing to forget. But the Christian side have to forgive, because you can't get into with hate in your heart. When I forgive, I would keep my difference, and relationship would not be the same. And then we did have a conversation about that. You forgive, but Kayla says she go watch the person through one eye.
You have to.
Hey, me forgive you in a butt. Me forgive you in a butt.
But stay far from me and stay far from my child. Because
Is that forgiveness? Is that forgiveness though?
I can forgive you, but don't have any association with you. In this instance, I would forgive you eventually after I myself have to get therapy, because not only get therapy, I have to get therapy too, and I'll forgive you, but you're not coming into my space, no way, form, or fashion. Okay. You're not going to be around me or my child. If you're the father, I don't care if you're the mother. No. And if I have to go to court to get this established, then so be it.
Okay, Sister Rosie B say you can, but the memory will still linger in the back of your mind.
Yes, for sure.
Real hard pill to swallow though.
Very hard. Extremely hard pill.
Nicolette, before you go, and I want to read what Nicolette say, because Nicolette said, no, not a backside. A parent's duty is to protect the child. Absolutely no excuse. If they know about any molestation and do nothing about it, they are also liable for the crime. Not even our own backside.
And I could hear that anger, that passionate anger in what she stated.
You agree with her? It's a hard pill to swallow. But
like I said, in that moment, and for me personally, in that moment,
Okay.
It's going to take time, a lot of time, a lot of prayer, a lot of therapy, a lot of everything for me to forgive that person. But like Kayla stated, the humanistic side of you, that's what I would be experiencing. But the Christian side of me would have to forgive.
Okay. Let's start to wrap up. So we could release Blazing Gospel Radio. Mr. Carter. Okay, Mr. Carter said a lot of persons not prepare for forgive their parents for things are less significant, but no saying forgiveness such a brutal act. Okay, yes, Sister Rosemary Coombs McDonald. She said, yes, I think they do now. Okay, I think maybe she's talking about the register. Let's say good night to Brother Mark DJ Roberts from Blazing Gospel Radio on every Thursday at 8 p.m. Join him. And Sunday at 8 p.m. join Brother Mark Johnson. Okay, and you want to read what Brother Dwayne says, and then we close off?
Okay, but that person could be an abuser as well. So the child would be afraid to talk up because they're being threatened. Yeah, they're being threatened. They're being bribed. There's so many things that now is put on this poor child that I don't even know how I'll get through the day, each and every day. But what we want to take away from this, or
before you take away, Bella Bear, when you get flashback, it causes you to break down and cry, and that is scar for lifetime. If you get to the point that we have to start to break and cry, do you really forgive the person?
It's just that the emotion of it is, it's always, gonna be there with you. You're always thinking about, my God, this person did this to me. What did I do? And another part about that too, that child, right, could be also, depending on the age of the child, could be like,
all the time.
What did I do for
All
you
the
to
time.
do this to me? Am I a bad child? But again, that would be the humanistic side to gonna relive that that situation. That's what causes you to break down and cry. Dwayne Nugent said something else that I want to read. He said, "You not sending your child to that person doesn't say you don't forgive. You really do forgive, yes, but you don't forget what that person have done. So I don't think it's wrong with not child."
What if the person come to you and the person says that I'm sorry, and the person shows signs that they forgive, that they regret what they have done? The person of Christian and start to move for the Lord and so forth.
My child still not going back to that person's house.
So you're gonna forgive the person, and when the person turn his life around, then you're gonna say,
my child is to that person's house. Period.
So let me ask you a question then. So who I talked to about the pastor who molest them, you think that pastor?
Well, if it wasn't dealt with, if if the pastor
it wasn't dealt with. The pastor never said, I'm sorry.
Well, at the end of the day, only the pastor and that person knows. So therefore, if it was a situation where that pastor was held accountable for his or her actions, then there is no way that pastor should be in a position to be a pastor, right? So pastor could be still getting away with that because only the molester knows, and only the person that was molested knows, right? I would say that if that person wants to, they should confront him or her, right? Because you're coming on a pulpit each and every Sunday or Saturday to teach people about God, but yet your ways are very corrupt, are very dirty and disgusting. How can you tell me about God when this is something that you have done or still do? That's just being so hypocritical.
Okay, that's where we're gonna leave tonight.
Well, before we leave it there for tonight, I just want to say that as caregivers, as parents, we have to take the initiative to teach our children about inappropriate touching, teach our children from very young what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And if you have nieces and nephews, do the same thing, encourage them to speak up when something is being done to them that is inappropriate. We have to, not keep this under the rug. I mean, this is the 21st century, for crying out loud, We have so many outlets. Speak to a healthcare professional, speak to a teacher, speak to a counselor, somebody, speak to about what's going on with you, whether it's your mother that's doing it or whether it's your father that's doing it, whoever is doing it, just speak to someone about it. So that way it can be addressed, that person can be held accountable for their actions.
Amen. I agree with you 100%, and we want to thank you for staying with us. We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chat with the Jacksons. We go live on it every week now. And as we told, next week we will give you the final details on Let the Music Speak. So we wanted to continue to get your contestant ready. If you know a friend who can sing, an artist, the first prize will be $150,000. Second prize would be $75,000. So I want you to start to look for these new upcoming contestants, whether you want to sing or you want to DJ or whatever you want to do in the line of singing.
Stick to singing.
In the line, then feel free to enter next week, Tuesday, if God says so. We will give you more information on this. Then we end our discussion. We enjoy you staying with us tonight, and we encourage you to go over to Sister Corey B with the Journey Radio. We are here to keep church over there. Any closing remarks?
Oh, you mentioned about final information about Let the Music Speak. No, we won't have the final information next week. We'll have
some information, definitely. Not everything going to finalize, but we'll have some more information to give to you. Thanks for being a part of us tonight. And my name is Fitzroy Jackson.
And I'm Susan Jackson.
And we are Chat with the Jacksons. And we said, peace out. We love you. God love you. And continue to, should we still continue to practice social distancing?
Yes, I think so.
Why
because
not?
As much as they're saying about lifting the mask mandate, I don't think so. Well, not for me anyway.
Okay, so we will go back to, we'll make Queen Ifrica take us out, and then we will go back to another video from Romain Virgo. Thanks. We love you, and God love you too.
Stop it, Daddy. Daddy, stop it now. I'm going to tell on you now. Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. Ooh, Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. Every day I wonder why my daddy had to be the one to take away my innocence. Oh, sometimes I wanna die. It feels like no one cares for me, and it's evident that something must be wrong with me. I'm not as happy as I seem to be. The long showers I take don't wash away the memories. Why do I have to face these tragedies? We go through struggles in life on my way, but to have my daddy touching me, that's just not fair. Stop him from destroying my future. Believe me, he's behaving like a creature. Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. Ooh, Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. To all your mothers out there, give a listening here. Pay attention even if the man a pastor. You have to make sure before you trust him with your daughter. Plus him will even try to take your son as brother. Watch it, make me duck him with some dirty water. You can't hide no more, no, you have to meet your karma. If if you know say it's a go on and turn a blind eye, then your judgments a go pile up out a mile high. Get suicidal if you think it's a go save you, because me sure say you not go get fishy the savior. Me just can't find a name for your behavior. It's a lucky thing we got a nosy neighbor. Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. Ooh, Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. When you feel like giving up, just shake it off and live it up. The most I will deliver you. Can't jump the rope if you not try. So wipe that tears there from your eye. Get the wings of confidence to make you fly. Tribulations are just to make you stronger. Love yourself and it will help you forget over. Any flesh where hurt a little youth will never prosper. I'm passing on the message from the master. Every day I wonder why my daddy had to be the one to take away my innocence. Oh, sometimes I wanna die. It feels like no one cares for me, and it's evident that something must be wrong with me. I'm not as happy as I seem to be. The long showers I take don't wash away the memories. Why do I have to face these tragedies? We go through struggles in life. I'm aware, but to have my daddy touching me, that's just not fair. Stop him from destroying my future. Believe me, he's behaving like a creature. Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. Ooh, Daddy, don't touch me there. I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father. Every day I wonder why my daddy had to be the one to take away my innocence. Oh, sometimes I wanna die, it feels like no. Oh, you feel do that to a child, you pedophile.
I me say no make them take advantage of you. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, young girl going to school, yeah. I'm not following nobody. 'Cause that man where I call you sexy could be twice your daddy. Your time rough like Greta, plus your mama don't want me. But please me, I beg you, no make them come mess up your body. And you dirty man, you dirty man. Leave the people picking them alone. You dirty man, you know it's wrong. So leave the people picking them alone. It's a disgrace, man. You're just a waste man, a waste man. Hey, mommy, you feel listen to your daughter when she tell you she no happy. You see the signs and turn a blind eye. Me I beg you to stop it. That man when you have a come take you when you left him still at hungry. You left your young girl all alone. Not take your daughter, sell out to you, dirty man. You dirty man. Leave the people picking them alone. You dirty man, you know it's wrong. Leave the people picking them alone. It's a disgrace, man. You're just a waste man, a waste man. Yeah. When if you talk up, if you don't know them, you're gone. No matter wait till it's too late. And right now, if it's on the alarm, when if you talk up, if you know them, thing you're gone. And if you know and you not say a thing, you are said that. Dirty man, the dirty man. Leave the people picking them alone. You little dirty man, dirty man. Leave the people picking them alone. You're a disgrace, man.
pedophilia.